It's a wonderful day in Celestine, Indiana, as we're celebrating their 175th. Hello, I'm Bill Potter, and joining me is Matt Beekler for today's broadcast of the parade here in Celestine. And Matt is going to have a pretty good lineup.
They are. They've got a lot of parades, and they told me just recently they had one signed up as little as 2 hours ago.
So we are looking at a parade grouping of about 130 or more. So sit back and enjoy the 175th parade from Celestine, Indiana. This is the Celestine 175th Parade. Bill Potter again along with you with Matt Beekler, and we'll be giving you kind of a call of the parade. We don't have a description of each of the units, but we will do our best to kind of let you know what we are seeing. Obviously, they lead all the parades with the DuBois County Sheriff's Department, and that is their SUV coming up the hill here at our vantage point near Celestine Elementary. And so the Sheriff's Department is leading the parade.
And first up on the parade, we have the St. Anthony American Legion, post number 493, with a color guard there, the Stars and Stripes coming right up the road.
This is the point we're at right now is probably halfway through the parade. They've got a pretty good walk to go.
And this is not a nice hill.
Yep. St. Anthony American Legion, post number 493. And the fire truck that is on the screen right now is the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department. It's their 2018 Chevy 3500 Rescue Unit. It's used for emergencies.
Okay, and next up we have Beekler Farms John Deere 4030, and they appear to be pulling something that didn't quite make it out of the mud.
You know, actually, this is still part.
I think they're also with the Volunteer Fire Department.
Yeah, they are with the Volunteer Fire Department, and it's also Beekler Farms.
A twofer.
Looks like they're doing their work as they're extricating somebody out of that vehicle. The next unit is a 1979 Chevy brush truck here from the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department.
Up next, we have a 2013 Kenworth Fiara engine with the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department.
This unit is the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department 2013 Chevy Ferrara engine.
And finishing up, we have the 1999 Sterling. And
all right, here is the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department retired fireman's float will be coming up here in just a moment. We will have that here on 18 WJTS. But we'll be back with more right after this important set of messages from the Celestine 175th Parade.
All right, and next here we have the Celestine 175th. Looks like the committee here going
I think
through.
This is the retired firemen's parade that we were waiting for. First fire chief was Jim Rochone, the retired fireman and auxiliary. Happy 175th Celestine. And this is a Ford 5000 tractor. And a Chihuahua on there. And a nice little Chihuahua on the Ford tractor. This looks like we're going to start seeing some of the Grand Marshals and the 175th Parade.
Yep, here come the Grand Marshals. We've got Vic and Vola Sander, Jim Sander, Donnie Sander, Ronnie Sander, and Martha Geffridge.
All right, the Vic and Viola Sander family, the Grand Marshals for Celestine's 175th.
And coming up the road next, we have the Good Shepherd KFC American Flag Carry. Always a favorite of the parades. Toss in a penny.
Well, you could toss in a quarter.
Or a dollar.
Or a dollar. They'll even take 20s. But on a windy day, they got to be real quick with their hands because it kind of blows out. And really, this is a very warm day in Celestine, as this weekend they'll remember the 175th as being very warm. But today for this parade, there's a really nice breeze coming through Celestine, Indiana for their 175th celebration as we wrap it up today. This is, as Matt mentioned, the Good Shepherd KFC unit. And you're welcome to throw money in if you'd like. After a while, that gets to be pretty heavy, that flag. They're the guys with the Tootsie Rolls, helping people with disabilities, the Knights of Columbus.
And next up, we have the community of Celestine oldest female resident, Lorena Burke. I think I pronounced that
Celestine's
right.
oldest female.
Followed closely by Celestine's oldest male resident.
Hey, we want to note it that Lorena was born March 6, 1919.
But we have Lawrence Metz, the oldest male resident, born November 11th, 1926.
Now this would be coming up here in the yellow, I think that might be an Impala. Oh, look at, and they're dragging cans behind because this is Celestine's longest married couple. That is a Chevy. The longest married couple is?
Looks like Leonard and Mary Hinkey.
Hickey. The Hickeys, they were married in 1951, June 30th. Really just a couple of days. They just celebrated their anniversary a couple of days ago, or a day ago. We're recording this on July 1st, so happy anniversary to them. How many years is that? I can't do the math quick enough.
I can't either. Here comes the St. Isidore Parish priests, Father Eugene Schmidt and Father John Brosmer.
A nice little Beamer convertible. I think they just blessed the camera, so we should have a good broadcast here.
And next up, we're looking at the St. Celestine Church Parish Float, celebrating their 175th in style.
Actually, Celestine celebrating their 175th, as is the church. It's really the church and the city of Celestine celebrating together. St. Isidore Catholic Parish, the St. Celestine Church is part of that. And now we have the Jaslyn Sander John Deere 4050. It's pulling a German float. That is I think the folks from Germany who played at the Mass.
The German musicians who played at the 8 a.m. Mass this morning at St. Celestine Church.
Visiting from Germany. All here having a great time. And this is Unit 14A. This is a German guest from Wagshurst, Germany. 1952 International.
Actually, I think that's Father John Beglin.
The sheep herder, yeah. That's Father John Beglin. I saw that, I guess.
Interestingly enough, Father John Beglin arranged for the German visitors last time at the 150th, and again today. And welcome back to the parade here for the Celestine 175th celebration. Next up, we've got coming up the road here a really big float. Looks like a walk up of the community of Celestine. I bet that's who it's going to be.
The community of Celestine. They're celebrating 175 years. This is a float that everybody has seen in parades leading up to this parade. So you may have seen it at the Strassenfest. You may have seen it at the Herbstfest. You may have seen it at any of the parades that have been going on.
Any of the many other parades throughout the year.
Now, I'm not sure. Do they have the water tower squirting today?
It does not look like it. They may have run out of water already. It's been
probably.
No, we're wrong. There it goes.
Celestine is celebrating their 175th. So this parade has been used many times leading up to this day. And now this unit right here, I'm thinking, is the community of Celestine tree lighting and cookie walk?
That's what it looks like. I believe I see Father Christmas there.
Yep, Father Christmas, you're right. And they are handing out something, walking along.
I believe those are, actually, I can't tell from here.
Community of Celestine. That's a great looking float. Perfect for Christmas, yes.
Gorgeous.
Now, I'm not sure, but this wagon might be Linus Hagedorn in conjunction with the tree lighting. With the workhorses pulling the wagon. And now we have the community of Celestine Senior King and Queen. Ray and Eileen Leakin. Senior King and Queen winners for Celestine.
Next up is the Celestine 175th Queen, which is Corey Val Tentler.
That's a Little Miss Celestine.
Well, that's
okay, yeah.
Little Miss.
No, wait.
Celestine.
The 150th Little Miss Celestine, Corey Tentler.
It looks like here comes the Queen in her court.
They had quite a court. They had a great set of entries.
Large
Little Miss
turnout.
Celestine was Avery Schmidt. Junior Miss Celestine was Lexi Freiberger.
Miss Celestine looks like it was Lydia Berkey.
Lydia Berkey.
Lydia Berkey.
And this unit is homegrown. Oh, that's the Celestine 175th pageant contestants. That's the court. That would be the court. The first was the Royal. Some of these units would get snuck in on us. All right, welcome back to the Celestine 175th parade. This is the B Line Express. Of Celestine. Celestine. Look at that.
Get that thing up the hill.
That is a great unit. Oh, they are really having to work to get that up the hill.
Oh my.
That is a great float. That is awesome. And here's our little camper that they've got.
This must be the reserve peddlers.
Yeah. Doberman Pinscher dogs. This is our little Airstream. I think I need some help pushing that up the hill. They don't realize the amount of hills there are in Celestine, Indiana.
Yeah, it is not flat.
And now we have the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department 2009 Ford 350 brush truck leading the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department. That's brush number 1204 from Schnellville, neighboring community.
Yeah, and following the brush truck, we have tanker number 1203 with the Snellville Fire Department.
Schnellville, probably one of the closest neighboring communities to Celestine, Indiana. Schnellville had their 175th not too long ago.
Yep, just finished wrapping it up just a little bit ago.
And you see coming into your screen right now what is the Schnellville Conservation Club. Schnellville Conservation Club since 1928. Man, that's been around a long time.
Well, looks like they've got somebody up there keeping the crowd cool.
Yep, somebody with a super soaker. Up in the tree stand, handing out candy as they go along in their bright orange. That is the Celestine Sesquicentennial shirts.
Yes, it is.
So it would have been their 150th that they celebrated recently. And you see on that float,
well, the Schnellville Sesquicentennial.
you see all kinds of things, the deer, all kinds of things. Thanks for the candy. And now
we have the Schnellville Community Park float.
They are wishing Celestine a happy 175th. I like the shot of that tractor. That's a nice looking tractor. That's a Minneapolis Moline. Oh, and on their float they have a little teeter-totter and they have a swing set. Oh, and it even goes around. Oh, I think she just
They are followed closely by the DuBois County Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts of Southern Indiana. Matt, two of your girls are out there? One of your girls.
One of my girls
is up
is
here
out
with
there.
us.
Yeah, she's with us. She wanted to stay out of the heat today.
Share.
And they gave us candy to share.
And the next two units, 28 and 28A, are Knies Brothers Farms. They'll have a tractor and a float. Well, maybe it's all in one. That's what we see. Yeah, it's the Knies Brothers Farms.
Yep. Coming up here with their Alice Chalmers.
D21. The Road Gear Farmer, it says on the front. All in their bright orange shirts. This is in memory of Scott Knies and Chad Knies. The Knies Farms, established in 1991. If you see, that's a small scale of their farm right there with the silos and the tractors and the barns, grain bins.
And next up, we have the float from Hammer Down Haulin. Though I'm not sure how much they can haul with that little semi there. That's a look at that
That's
guy.
a neat little unit. But you know, they you see them all around with their big semis going around doing a lot of hauling. I think they are based out of the Huntingburg area, Hammer Down Haulin. And they have this little unit in the mini parades. That is a great unit for them to have. Hammer Down Haulin Incorporated. And now, here you go.
Here's one true and blue to our own hearts, the WBDC van and radio.
And 18 WJTS, and you see Paul Knies in the passenger seat. Paul is the owner. Paul and Carol Canese established WBDC in 1975. We thank them, our patriarchs, for bringing us where we are today.
I thank him for a job.
And now we see Sander Processing bringing in Old Smoky. Sander, I think they have some hams in there, maybe some bacon they're making. Sander Processing, located right here in Celestine, Indiana. A lot of people will come for miles to come here to Celestine to go to Sander Processing.
Following Sander Processing, we have the Northeast DuBois Marching Jeeps.
They're throwing little pot holders at us.
Oh, they're throwing quite a few of them at us.
The DuBois Marching Jeeps are on the screen right now, working their way up the hill. This is a band that just keeps growing in Celestine, Indiana, or in DuBois, of which folks in Celestine go.
Celestine is a part of.
Marching Jeeps.
Coming up next, we have the Celestine Community Club pulling their 175th celebration float.
It's got a little cake there in the middle. Celestine Community Club. Practicing shooting matches every Wednesday night, August 22nd through November 21st.
And here we have Thews Farm with
Tavis Farms with their 1967 150 Massey Ferguson.
And following that, we have the 1974 John Deere 4230 pulling a Mardi Gras float.
So this float, I guess, is the DuBois County Mardi Gras gang. They're congratulating Celestine.
And they seem to be having a good time.
Yeah, that's right. Danny Schnell celebrating 40 years. They also suggest you become part of the Indiana Donor Network, be an organ donor, save a life. Congratulations, Celestine. It's the Mardi Gras float. The DuBois County Mardi Gras gang. Yeah.
Following that, we've got the Celestine Park, it looks like.
Celestine Park float. This parade, by the way, has a lot of nice floats in it. Celestine Park, just right down the road from where we are. Celestine Park, a nice place to be.
And next up, we have Wagner Brothers Farm.
Wagner's Brothers Farm with a front loader filled with kids. And now, if you would welcome to the Celestine 175th Parade, the DuBois County Democrats float, and then we're going to have many of the Democrats that are running for office following that. This is one of those red, white, and blue bicentennial tractors I can remember from 1976.
Spirit of 76.
And you see on that poster up on the side all of the candidates that they have that will be running in November in the election. The DuBois County Democrats ask you for your vote. And so they're being followed by many of the folks in the Democrat Party, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to get. I see a vote for Quinn. There's one.
My mom's running.
Morton for auditor. Deborah Major. And I'm not sure if I think this is still part of the Democrats, I believe. This red truck with the big birthday cake in the back. Actually, I believe that is Tim Lampert's float. Big happy birthday cake. I think they had this in the nighttime parade, by the way. It was all lit up and sparkly.
That would have looked nice.
Happy 175th Celestine. Vote Tim Lampert for DuBois County Sheriff. respect, honor, courage, and integrity. Tim Lampert, someplace in that crew, someplace in that gang. And then all the green shirts that you see would be Reitman for recorder. Those are the folks who ask you to vote for experience. Gail Hassenauer Reitman for recorder. All part of the Democrat entourage. There's still a few more yet to come, I believe, for the Democrats as well. Everybody trying to work their way around the stop sign. And now with the yellow shirts, this is Kirsten Knies for County Clerk, also on the Democrat side. Banner in the front, supporters in the middle, pickup truck bringing up the back. And with this unit, we're about a third of the way through the parade. Here in Celestine, Indiana, it's their 175th.
Yeah, we're still sitting here at the halfway point, so there's still quite a bit of parade to go.
And in the blue shirts, we have the Angie Sang Giesler for Assessor, the qualified choice. She's a level 3 certified Indiana Assessor Appraiser. Angie Giesler running for Assessor. They are wearing, what is that, aqua? Aqua color?
I would say so, yeah,
aqua shirts. So each of the Democrats has had a different color of some sort?
Makes them stand out more.
That's right. Angie Giesler for Assessor. You are watching the Celestine 175th Parade that has been recorded on July 1st on 18 WJTS TV. And this next unit is the Joe Donnelly for Indiana. Marching and driving unit. Joe Donnelly running for U.S. Senate. And there is Joe Donnelly himself, the white shirt, I believe, yeah. Hard work, common sense, Hoosier values. Joe Donnelly for U.S. Senate. And the next is a walking unit and a float. It's the committee to elect Joe Lannon.
State Representative for House 63.
There's Joe walking along, and all of his supporters elect Lannon. Rep63.com if you want more information.
And that would be the DuBois Volunteer Fire Department letting us know they're coming in with their F450 bush truck.
That's another neighboring community to Celestine, Indiana. Of course, you know, in DuBois County, we're all kind of neighboring communities. All right, this next unit is the DuBois Volunteer Fire Department 2011 Spartan Crimson Custom Pumper.
Engine number 2.
Coming to the rescue in DuBois, Indiana. Of course, all the local fire departments support each other. And now we're going to go back in time.
We have the DuBois Volunteer Fire Department 1927 Seagrave Pumper.
Back in the day, that's what came to rescue you.
So glad we have bigger trucks now.
Yeah, yes, I do. Old 27. DuBois, Indiana, nicely restored. Look at all the wood on that. That is nice.
It looks gorgeous.
And now congratulating Celestine on their 175th is Bonert Advertising Specialties, located here in Celestine, Indiana. Mike Steffi is part of that entourage. That is Bonert Advertising Specialties, bringing us a rain gauge so we'll know how much rain we've had.
We're lucky today. We've got clear skies and a beautiful day for this parade.
It has been a really, really warm 175th celebration.
All right, and coming up the hill now, we have the Fred and Selma Schnell family. 5 generations celebrating the Celestine 175th. They've got a float here coming up, and the whole family, it looks like. That's a good number of people walking with them.
The Schnell family. They were established July 1st. That would be from the date of this recording. Oh my gosh, here I got to go. 77 years?
70 plus years ago? Yeah, sounds good to me.
I think I added that right. Yeah, 77 years. Schnell family. And this next unit is the ADM Riverview Feed and Supplies, LLC. Got like a little display there of all the different feeds that they have with ADM Riverview Feed and Supplies, being pulled by an Oliver 1950 tractor. And you can see on the float the different items that they carry for beef, dairy,
Horse,
hogs,
chickens, hogs, bunnies even?
sheep, goats, and cats. And dogs. They got it all there at ADM Riverview Feed and Supplies. Now this John Deere is a 1952 Model B John Deere. That is
driven by John Bikey. Next up is the St. Anthony Volunteer Fire Department. They've got their 1967 Chevrolet pickup.
And again, I keep saying this, but another neighboring community. A lot of small communities around that participate and support each other. St. Anthony here as well. St. Anthony Volunteer Fire Department. This is their 2005 Ferrara tanker pumper from St. Anthony, Indiana.
On the bright side, none of them had a long drive to get here.
That's right, yeah. They're going to take their trucks out anyway on a Sunday.
Coming up next here up the hill, we have the Plum Crazy Cuts and Color by Lana. They're driving a purple plum Jeep.
I tell you, when you look at those headlights, that's pretty cool. Never seen that before. That looks pretty neat. Changing colors, those LED lights. Plum Crazy, Cuts and Colors. And in remembrance of the Frank Hassenauer Garage, this unit is being pulled. It is a float, 40 years of service, 1932 to 1972, if I can see it that far. It looks like the garage, they got the cars pulled up there. It was a great garage at the time. Hassenauer Garage, 40 years of service. Hey, gas was 25 cents back then? In loving memory of Frank and Olivia Hassenauer. And now we have the DuBois County Republicans. So again, we'll have a whole bunch of them all in a row. This is the lead unit for the DuBois County Republicans. And the first unit for the DuBois County Republicans, or part of that unit, is, as in every parade it seems around his district, State Senator Mark Mesmer playing the trumpet, being accompanied by somebody on the tuba.
Always.
Sorry, I don't know the name, but there they go. I hope you hear that coming through. State Senator Mark Mesmer. And this next unit is Clem for DuBois County Council. All in the purple shirt. Clem for DuBois County Council, that would be Charmaine Clem. all part of the Du Bois County Republican unit. You can hear the wind picking up just a bit here. That nice cool breeze feels good on the back. And Darren Patterson is selecting candy for us. And then this next unit is Tom Kleinhelter for Du Bois County Sheriff. It is a walking unit and a driving unit. They are wearing the grayish colored in the shirts. Tom Kleinhelter running for Du Bois County Sheriff. You can follow them on Facebook at Tom Kleinhelter for Sheriff. And they want to remind you, early voting starts October 10th. General election is coming up November 6th. And he's got
before we know it.
He's got a big entourage there, all in that steel. I'd call that a steel gray shirt. Quite a crew there. They're restocking the candy, letting some kids out,
Keeping them cool inside.
Yep. Jeremy's getting a shot of all the supporters, all making their way through. This may be the only break they get in this parade. And they stop on a hill.
Yeah.
We hope you're enjoying this broadcast on 18 WJTS TV. Good breeze coming through. You may hear it coming through the microphones. We are at unit number 55, by the way. Bill Potter along with Matt Beekler. On the camera is Jeremy Marcos. I think they may be stopping traffic occasionally to let it flow through on the highway. Jeremy's still panning the crowd. And here they're going to start going. All right. So the next unit that will make their way onto the camera, representing Republicans, is Jackie McFerrin. She is running for Du Bois County Recorder. They are all in white, actually red, white, and blue. Jackie McFerrin on the Republican ticket running for the Du Bois County Recorder. Go there in the courthouse. Their crew is all in white. And I see the mayor, Denny Spinner, out in that crowd walking. Getting his exercise today. He's getting ready for his 5 at 5 or 5.55 when they run in Huntingburg. We got somebody on one of those. Is that a Segway?
Segway, yeah.
Segway? Pretty neat. All right. This now all in red is Kippenbrook for clerk. Amy Kippenbrook is running for the Du Bois County Clerk. And then Bridget Jarbo jumping around in the crowd. Amy Kippenbrook running, and she's put that Jeep. That's pretty cool the way that's all wrapped. Pulling the units of kids on bouncy horses. Amy Kippenbrook running for Du Bois County Clerk. And now we have Shane Lindar, and he is running to represent State Representative District 63. He is currently in office. Shane Lindar's crew is all in dark blue. Shane Lindar, responsible government begins at home. And there's Steve driving the truck. Their crew, too, also gets to stop right in front of the WJTS camera. What they planned that on purpose. But traffic is a little bit backed up. Shane Lindar, he is our current state representative, District 63. He is running on the Republican ticket to continue. And this unit, as it moves forward, you may be able to see it on the camera now. It's got a big elephant on the back.
Big old purple elephant.
And yeah, and running all in black now. These are the black shirts. These are the supporters of State Representative Steve Bartels, or Bartles. Steve said it depends on where you live. Either way is right. Steve Bartles running for state representative. He is our current representative for this district as well. And you see, there you go. You see that the purple elephant on the back of that float, red, white, and blue float. Stephen Bartels.
And up next, we have the Stemley family tree pulled by a 3020 John Deere. It's like they brought the whole family out to celebrate.
And they brought the music with them. Having a good time, the Stemley family. The Stemley family, by the way, they're also in those gaiters in the gray shirts. Now this is the Birdseye Future Firefighters on the back of this float. Birdseye Volunteer Fire Department, look at that. All right, there's our future volunteer firefighters from Birdseye, Indiana. Now there is a float that looks like a fire truck, big for the kids.
They're already hard at work, hosing everything down.
They're already putting out the fires. 1968 to 2018, celebrating 50 years, Birdseye is.
The next float we have coming up here is the float.
Oh, they're cooling off their feet. All right, Matt.
Next up, we have the Celestine Elementary float. The Celestine Elementary School.
And we want to thank Celestine Elementary School for supplying us power for this broadcast. Celestine Elementary, right here in Celestine, Indiana. It is a 4-star school. You see all the stars racing through the sky, Celestine, Indiana. And appropriately, they're being followed by
the DuBois County Retired Teachers Float.
And they do a lot of good work. These are teachers
do.
who have retired and still support the community and volunteer throughout the community doing different things.
Helping the community and the schools. And
retired volunteer teachers are inside there. DuBois County Retired Teachers Association. They're afloat with computers and books and a Big Apple. Of course, a blackboard.
And after the retired teachers, we have the Canese Family Reunion Float.
Canese Family Reunion.
Proud to be part of Celestine for 163 years.
Paul Canese told me that the Canese name first came up right here in Celestine, Indiana. First place in the whole United States it occurred was here in Celestine.
So definitely near and dear to their hearts.
Canese family, a well-known name in this area.
And next up, we have Energy Solution Insulation.
I like that. Look at that. That is a house
made of insulation.
Made of insulation. So I hope it's nice and cool inside. That is pretty neat. That blown insulation looks like to me. Energy Solutions, insulation. Saving energy with their insulation solutions. Oh, he's shooting T-shirts. There he goes. Shooting T-shirts. That's a pretty neat little float. And the next float is, I believe, Nordoff Farms with an old Farm All tractor. The Nordoff's proud to be supporting this community. Whee! They're having a good time on their float.
And here we have the DuBois County Hottie Shriners. From the Hottie Temple, Evansville, their hospital van is up here today.
And another group that does a lot of good work in the communities, the Hottie Shriners. I'm not sure if we'll see those little cars in the parade or not. I'm not looking ahead. All right, this next float was one of the highlights in the nighttime parade that they had a couple of days ago.
I heard about that. They said it looked amazing. We have the Ernie's Welding Shop float. And as you can see, they've got an old blacksmith shop set up on the back of that float, and they've got flames going and everything.
That's probably the hottest place.
I bet it is.
Right on the back of that. That is a neat float. But now at night, they were also shooting sparks as they were grinding down some steel. But Ernie's Welding Shop, heating and beating since 1973. See the flames inside the Ernie's Welding Shop sign there. I'm not sure if you can tell that on TV. There you go. Look, he's making something. And with another big birthday cake to celebrate in Celestine, Indiana is Beckman's Construction, LLC. Pulling a red, white, and blue patriotic float, as this is also really close to the 4th of July. And Celestine did it up right. They had huge crowds every night here at the Celestine 175th. I think just in the Brothers of the Brush, there's like 130 contestants. And one of them was on that float right there. I think he's got a big brush. Maybe 2 of them.
And coming up next, we have Roger Bender in a 1939 DC-4 case tractor.
Now, what's neat about this is the fact that he's pulling a plow. That's neat that you get to see the plow as well as the old tractor. And that plow looks in pretty good shape.
It sure does. They did a good job getting that back up to looking brand new. Next up, we have a 1948 VA chase tractor.
And this case tractor is also pulling an old restored plow. Doesn't look like they've been used in a while. But I'm sure back, it has a dented, you can see the little dents. It has been used, I'm sure.
It's got plenty of use back in the day.
Yeah. You know, they still may use that for gardens and things around.
Next up is a 1949 DC case tractor, followed closely by the 1954 Farmall Super MTA.
It's got a torque amplifier.
And it is also pulling one of those antique plows.
You know what the MTA stands for?
I do not.
Me either. Jeremy, you know? Jeremy's the camera guy goes, no, nope, I don't know either. And again, you know, they're pulling plows, which I think is really neat. And from Huntingburg, Indiana, here is the Huntingburg Volunteer Fire Department. This is their emergency unit, number 735, here to support the town of Celestine. From Patoka Township, the Huntingburg Volunteer Fire Department.
Next up, we have Hof Contracting, pulling a large float with what looks like a track hoe on the back.
And, you know, doing some work. That's what's neat about this float. It shows you kind of the work that they do and shows that little machine in operation, as it were, at the time. And inside we got a little kid. Look at his little hard hat. Can you get that shot of him? The hard hat? Maybe not. Oh, nice shot with a candy. Hof Contracting, excavating, hauling, and dirt work. Oh, and I see Hof Excavating is handing out those little hard hats for kids right down here in front of us. He's walking along with the hats for the kids.
And coming up next is Rainbow International Restoration of Jasper. They specialize in water, fire, smoke, and mold damage restoration.
24-hour emergency service, 24/7.
New to the area, and I've heard good things about them already.
Hopefully you won't need them unless you're doing some renovating, but hopefully you didn't have some sort of disaster. But if you do, they're the ones to call, Rainbow International Restoration.
And next we have the Hayesville Volunteer Fire Department 2006 Fiara Pumper. Engine number 501 with what looked like some future members up on top.
Yep. Throwing out Tootsie Rolls. And this is the Joseph Beekline Alice Chalmers C unit. Pulling a little wagon, with the folks in the nice shade. And it's followed by Joseph Beekline Alice Chalmers D14. Looks like that might have been restored by Joe's Body Shop. Alice Chalmers Orange.
This next float is Bet's Herbs and More, wishing Celestine a happy 175th from right here in downtown Celestine.
And actually, Bet's Herbs and More, I think their parking lot is where the main grandstand is. And they're pulling the pontoon in form. Burn fat, be fit for your life. Inform coach Sarah Dillon. Transform your life. Are you up to the challenge, Matt?
I've been trying to work at that.
Inform, that reminds me of 18 WJTS Inform. That's a Sun Cruiser. They're going to probably head from here to Patoka Lake. They're close enough. And I'm thinking this is Lampert Upholstery. That is one cool car throwing out frisbees, is it? Yeah. No, yeah,
cup koozies.
Yeah, cup koozies.
And coasters.
That is nicely decorated. Looks like they're ready for a luau. That is Lampert Upholstery.
Next up, looks like we have Kelly's Restaurant and Bar, again from right here in downtown Celestine. Proudly supporting Celestine for 175 years.
They'll be going past Kelly's Bar on the route.
Yep, right around the corner from us.
Kelly's Restaurant and Bar.
Jeff Kelly there on the float himself.
In the orange shirt?
Yep.
Jeremy's got a shot of him. This gives us breaks.
Okay.
And this next float is a 4-H float. This is the Celestine All-Stars and Leaders of Tomorrow 4-H clubs right here in the parade in Celestine, Indiana. It is their 175th Celestine clubs.
Yep, they're being pulled here by an Alles Chalmers 185. They've got a float there with a bunch of the different shirts from the different clubs on it.
And it looks like they're using a hog railing, fencing around the side, and just like we'll see at the 4-H fair. That is the Celestine 4-H clubs. Join the 4-H.
Next up, we have the DuBois County Fair 4-H Queen.
This would be the Miss Teen Presley Nycum. And she's actually, and the 2017 Queen, Sarah Carpenter, they were actually crowned about a year ago.
Right.
And there will be, they'll be passing on their crowns shortly
yes.
as we get ready for the DuBois County 4-H Fair. And this is the Lynn Crodel 1954 Jeep fire truck. They got it from Lake Villa Fire Department out west somewhere and bring it back here.
Here we have the Rocky Friedman wheeled homemade bike.
Rocky Friedman. Oh, he's going backwards. Do they know he's going backwards?
I'm not sure if he knows.
He's going, I don't want to go up this hill. Please don't make me do it.
Oh, it's a lot of pedaling.
There's more hills than this. There he goes. He's getting the strength. Is there a motor on that? He needs a motor.
I think he's waiting for a good straight run up so he doesn't have to
going
stop.
Up that hill. All right. This is Rocky Friedman revving up his engine. Maybe he's just breathing.
Taking a break.
Taking a break. All right, here he goes. Yeah, because once he gets going, man, that takes some strength to do that. And this now, I think, is the Stephen Roll
Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. And coming up next, we have the Ferdinand FD 2018 Fiara Engine Rescue Truck.
Truck number 406 from Ferdinand.
And coming up next, we have Tony Beekler Farms. Steve Beekler driving a 1958 John Deere antique tractor.
Does Steve know how to drive a tractor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every weekend he gets a chance.
Does he really? Steve, by the way, is Matt's dad. He's better looking than you.
I don't know. I think we kind of look the same. My hair's halfway there already.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a lot more gray than you do.
Give my girls a few more years. I'll take care of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're on your way, Matt.
Next up, we have German American Bank with their Stronger Together shirts and a giant pink pig once we get to that float.
Giant piggy bag. German American is almost in every parade that there is, too, around. You always see them in their red shirts. Mm-hmm. And it's not just like one or two of them. It always seems to be dozens of them.
Oh,
you're right. Yeah. German American. Stronger Together.
They're giving out water bottles today. I
Well,
wonder if
that-
they're
no,
full
that's
or not.
No, I don't think so. They look a little light, but you can fill them with something. And another float that is in a lot of parades because they do a great job of promoting their parade, but they do a great job of supporting all communities around them. The Jasper Strassenfest Queens Court, being pulled by the Ackerman oil truck. The Jasper Strassenfest coming up first weekend in August, and of course you're invited. Jasper Strassenfest Queens Court. The 2017 Little Miss Strassenfest, Audrey Huffman.
The 2017 Little Mr. Strassenfest, Charlie Seifert.
The Miss Strassenfest 2017, Kara Scourge.
The Junior Miss first runner-up, Delaney Smith.
And the Junior Miss Congeniality, Emily Schaefer. And the Junior Miss Strassenfest, Karis Wiggin, all on that float. And there were some on the other side as well.
And following that float was the Leinebach Tire 1928 Buick.
No, I don't think so.
No, this is the best
NASCAR
home
Club.
furnishing.
I don't see that one. Okay, this is the NASCAR Club of Southern Indiana.
Pulling the best home furnishing NASCAR car.
NASCAR Racing Club of Southern Indiana. Man, they got that car running. Yeah. Oh,
so
but yeah,
close.
we got it. It's close enough.
Next up, it looks like we have Sager Farms driving a 620 John Deere.
Actually, that might be Steve Kress. We might be a little out of order. We're not sure at this point. I think we are. That was Steve Kress in a 57 John Deere. This is Michael Pund in a 1958 Ford F100. And then this is Michael Pund, 1956 Ferguson 40. So I guess a couple of units either didn't make it this far because of the heat, or they just didn't make it. Now that's an old tractor, that Ferguson. Interesting color on it. Ferguson 40.
Next up, we have the Circle A Food Mart pulling their float, the Proststein.
And toasting, in a way, all the festivals in the area. There's Laura Grammer. Prost 1975 Jahrstag. Circle A Food Marts. Toast to you. 300 gallons, by the way, that mug would hold.
Wow, that's a drink and a half.
That is a drink and a half.
Next up, we have Holzman Electric. Driving their, what looks like a little bitty electric van there.
Holzman Electric in Ireland, Indiana.
Next up, this is the Kirby Sander 1935 John Deere A, pulling their celebrating 150 years Celestine float.
The little guy driving that tractor, doing a great job. General purpose, John Deere. Kelby Sander, celebrating 150 years, 1868 to 2018. Mutual,
Also,
St. Celestine
Mutual Fire Insurance.
Celebrating
So that's a twofer.
150 years, yeah. Now, you know what, is this Shayla?
This is Shayla Sander with
okay.
a John Deere 4320.
No, that's a 320.
3020.
So we're not sure where we are in this lineup. You know, toward the end of a parade, a lot of times it gets that way. But it is
Sander
Sander
Farms.
Farms.
That's
That
who
is
they're
Sander
at.
Farms. Okay, pulling a float, I see, with a pig holding up 175th and all the little semis and grain trucks and combine. And here we have Jubilor Chevy with a beautiful Z71 Silverado. And here is an antique, a 1931 Chevy Coupe. Ken Jacob. I read that wrong. Ken Jacob. The Chevy Coupe. Oh, you know, I thought that was black, but really it's a dark metallic blue.
That is pretty.
Yeah, that is. I like that color.
And next coming up, we have the St. Patrick's Day celebration entry here, a walking segment and a float coming up.
It's another community supporting another community, and that is just indicative of Du Bois County. We love each other. And so Ireland is encouraging you to come to their celebration, but not only that, they're helping Celestine to celebrate theirs. You see the big spud on the back?
I do. That is a large potato.
Yep. And they have their Queen's Court on the back as well. And, of course, it's not a St. Patrick's celebration without a rainbow and a pot of gold and a party on the back of the float.
That's right.
All right, now
this is the Sagamore Express train, driven by Darrell Riley.
Now, that looks like just a truck that was converted? Man, that is awesome.
That is a cool-looking train.
Together.
It even sounds right.
Yes, it's got the right sound, it's got the right look. Sagamore Express.
Next up, looks like we have,
I think it's a 1952 B, John Deere B. How you know it's a John Deere?
It's always green.
John Deere green. John Riley, the owner of this John Deere. And they're supported by Schwartz Building Materials and National Farmers Crop Insurance. And the wagon was built by, I think, John Riley is what I believe that said. Oh, look at this. This is from Merle D. Schwartz as well. A 1948 F1 Ford Rat Rod. Perry County Highway 4, Troy, Indiana. Check that thing out. Every kind of, even satellite dishes on the back of that thing.
Oh, and that followed up closely by the 1938 Master Deluxe Chevy Coupe. Wonderfully restored, looks gorgeous.
That is a nice vehicle right there.
Welcome back to the Celestine 175th Parade here today on this beautiful 1st of July.
As Celestine celebrates our 175th, both the church and the town had a great big weekend going on here in Celestine, Indiana, and they wrap it up with the parade. It'll be followed by the Brothers of the Brush as well, but what a weekend they had in Celestine, Indiana. We're almost done with the parade. Now, by the way, at the end of a parade, sometimes we don't really know what's going on, although maybe it sounded that way throughout the whole parade. But we're not sure what units will be, but we're trying to keep the order as close as we can. So, Matt, our next unit is?
Looks like Hassenauer Farms, G&K Hassenauer.
And that's a big John Deere.
8235R, pulling a mock-up of the farm.
Well, that's a nice mock-up of the farm. With the grain bins and the turkey houses would be my guess.
Yep,
and,
that would be my guess as well.
That is a nice float, nicely put together. Oh, and here is Ryan Stimley in Old Blue. Old Blue is, of course, a Chevy pickup truck. I'm not sure of the year. It's a Cheyenne. That's got a long bed. That is one long truck. Nicely restored.
Next up, we have Kurt Sermershine Construction.
Give him a call if you'd like some work done. Kurt Sermershine. Ready to do the work for you. Okay, this golf cart, we're not sure what it is. We don't know if it's part of Kurt Sermershine or part of the next one, or if it's Melody Lane Farms. That might be the next.
I think that would be the next.
No, I think that's the Melody Lane Farms.
Oh?
Not really sure. But it's nice to see people in the parade.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt Beekler, you tell me, is this more Matt Beekler Farms coming up?
It might be.
Trace Beekler, John Deere?
Trace Beekler, John Deere. It looks like that is a 4320.
That's it.
Professional driver in the seat there.
From Beekler Farms. Nice diesel tractor. All right, here, now this one is a 1924 T-Bucket. Ernie Broadway with a 1924 T-Bucket. That would be an antique vehicle.
And they are followed by
up and running.
They are followed by the miniature horses and friends.
Miniature horse. Look at all those little miniature horses.
Look at them. They got to work to get up the hill just like everybody else.
Are these horses or ponies? I guess they're horses. Or miniature horses.
I wouldn't know where the distinction is.
They're small. Oh, but look at that one's got his hair nicely braided. And of course, there is one horse in the crew. They always put them toward the end of the parade. That's how we know we're getting close to the end.
We do. Nobody wants to step in what they leave behind.
Is the pooper scooper for the miniature horses and the friends.
And after them are the Freedom Reigns Therapeutic Riding Center. More horses. And
that's nicely to see them here. Freedom Reigns, great set of work that they do at Freedom Reigns. And those are some of the horses they use to help train,
help people learn to ride,
right,
and deal with
therapy. It gives it a therapy. And this next unit is still part of Freedom Reigns. This would be some of the folks who get to ride the horses
or instruct you on how to ride them.
Yeah. And again, followed up by a pooper scooper. And at this point, this horse will be ending the parade as it follows, is being followed by the DuBois County Sheriff's Department. And that wraps up this parade here on 18 WJTS. We sure hope you have enjoyed the broadcast. We want to thank Jeremy Marcos, our camera guy, and our put-together guy, and Matt Bickler, who has been my co-host with me and came early and set up the tent so we'd have a great vantage spot here in Celestine. I'm Bill Potter. We hope to see you at the next big event going on in the 18 WJTS viewing area. We are 18 WJTS, local people watching local people.